Yo, hey guys, it's poppin', Jacques Slade here, and today we're taking a look at some of the best sneakers of the year. 2020 has been an incredible year when it came to sneakers, even though we were all locked down and wearing masks and all of the things that affected us because of COVID. When it came to sneakers and sneaker design, there were a lot of really dope kicks that dropped. So with that being said, let's get right to it. These are the top 10 Nike releases of 2020. Okay, coming in at number 10 is this shoe, the Nike ISPA Overreact. It's all in the name, really, Overreact. I love it when Nike gets really weird and their ISPA ethos puts all of those unconventional ideas under one bizarre and really wacky umbrella. The hype might not be there for the Overreact, which I kind of understand considering the high price point and the huge push that Nike made earlier in the year with the Space Hippie line, but that just meant I could pick these up with no problem. Using Nike's React tech, the Overreact was like the stripped down version of the React Element 87, which was for a moment there in 2018, everybody's favorite sneaker. And if you have a pair of the 87s, you'll know that shoe already felt like something that the bare minimum you needed to be able to call a shoe. Turns out that you could take out even more parts like the sock liner and the strobel, and in the case of the Overreact Flyknit, replace the nylon upper with recycled yarns with patterns that were used in other Flyknit shoes. Number 9, Nike Air Max 90 Dia de los Muertos. The Nike Air Max 90 celebrated its 30th anniversary the way you would expect in any other iconic sneaker to celebrate a milestone year, by releasing a massive amount of OG retros, hybrid models that nobody really asked for, and an assortment of new colorways that breathed some new life into the silhouette. The 90 was featured in themed collections that range from Valentine's Day to a multi-sneaker city pack, but maybe the one that stood out the most to me was the pair that celebrated Dia de los Muertos, aka the Day of the Dead. The Mexican holiday that is celebrated on November 1st and 2nd is a way to honor those who passed on and remember the legacy that they left behind. As a part of a larger pack that honors Dia de los Muertos, this multicolor Air Max 90 features art and imagery that stays true to its inspiration. One of the things that I always fear when it comes to celebratory sneaker packs like this is that there are not always people of color in charge of leading the project, which leads to a product that is often, I would say, lost in translation. That doesn't seem to be the case here with the Air Max 90, and that's why it gets number 9 on our list. Number 8, Travis Scott Nike Air Max 270 React ENG Cactus. So the Nike Air Max 270 React was the casual sneakerhead's favorite in 2019. The Air Max 270 React ENG, not so much. It was fine for what it was, and combining React and Air is a money idea, of course, but the shoe itself did not capture the imagination of the general public like the debut Air Max 270 React. But what the Air Max 270 React ENG lacks in acceptance from the casuals, it makes up for it with tons of hype because of the Travis Scott designed Air Max 270 React ENG Cactus certainly caught our attention in 2020. Featuring flourishes such as leather and suede overlays and a golden color palette that I'm gonna go ahead and speculate was inspired by a McDonald's chicken McNugget maybe? It's the best thing that Travis dropped in 2020. Now you're probably thinking, oh, that's a controversial statement, but is it? Is it really though? And also, it's my list. We kind of do our own thing around here. Okay, coming in at number 7 is the Nike Adapt BB 2.0 Air Mag. Okay, so when the most popular Adapt BB colorway was the one based on the shoe that was basically the inspiration for the entire Adapt concept, you just go ahead and put that color scheme out every year, no questions. This is not it. It's the Air Mag colorway. And that's what I think we're getting to with the Adapt BB moving forward. The Adapt BB 1.0 Air Mag was a hit, so it only made sense that we got that 2.0 and give it the same treatment. And you know what's the best part? If you try hard enough, you can still find these at retail or slightly below on the resale market. That's a beautiful thing because with the $350 price tag, it's still going to be a struggle for most people to pick these up. So every little thing Nike can do to drive that price down, whether it's with a better and more efficient line of production that makes these kicks easier to churn out, or they just lower the hype for these with an Adapt BB 3.0 Air Mag next year, the sooner us 80s and 90s nerds can finally buy a piece of the future that Doc Brown was promising and Marty McFly was wearing. Number 6, Sean Clivert Nike SB Dunklow Holiday Special. Now, I'll admit to not knowing much about Sean Cliver until earlier this year when he and his Strangelove brand of skate creatives put together arguably one of the most popular dunks, SB or otherwise, of 2020 that was inspired by their love of the sport. And for an encore, Cliver's name takes center stage with the SB Dunklow holiday special that is a last-minute, down-to-the-wire contender for Nike Sneaker of the Year in my opinion, but it's a worthy one nonetheless. Maybe it's the secret UCLA fan in me, but I just love the color combination of light blue, white, and gold. But it's more than that, I think. You've got the perforations on the toe box that's shaped like a snowflake, a design choice that maybe even I would have ignored if nobody actually had pointed it out to me. Then there's the swoosh that looks like it's just dipped in liquid gold, the velvet suede overlays and premium leather construction that makes you wonder how they pulled this off for that $110 price tag. The holiday themed Cliver artwork on the insoles, and then they have the gold flakes on the outsole that just adds just the right amount of flair without overdoing it. Great. Now I'm wondering if this is too low on the list. Number 5, Nike Kobe 5 Pro Tro. Look, it's not easy to talk about Kobe Bryant, what he meant to myself, to the city of Los Angeles, the world, and to the game of basketball is something that we'll never be able to fully measure and appreciate. I mean, prior to his passing, the general release Kobe 1, Kobe 4, and Kobe 5 Pro Tros were just basically hanging out on store shelves just waiting to be bought. No hype, no crazy lines, no fuss. We were in that happy medium with Kobe kicks. The rare ones were always going to be hard to get, but if you just wanted a piece of his sneaker legacy, but with a modern twist, the Pro Tros, well, they were there waiting for you. But then things changed, and now even the most GR of GR Kobe's demand premium at resale. Didn't matter if it was the Lakers or the Bruce Lees or the Undefeateds, the Kobe 5 Pro Tros were almost always the ones that we took the most personally when we took L's on the weekend when they dropped. And now, I wonder if we'll ever get back to that happy medium. Number 4, Nike Space Hippie 03. It's trash. Literally, the Nike Space Hippie line is trash. As in, they were made out of scraps from recycled materials, and in this case of the Space Hippie 003, it even has fly ease to produce a shoe that looks really cobbled together. It looks like a first draft for a sneaker design class in school, which I wish I was offered when I was still in college. Hello. And while I can't make a case for any shoe in the Space Hippie line to take up the spot on this list, the Space Hippie 003 earns the honor of being the most ambitious of the 4. And my admiration for the Space Hippie extends to the packaging as well, which might actually be even more ambitious than the shoes themselves. Besides the use of recycled materials to make the shoe, which you know should just be a commonplace thing anyway, Nike actually shipped out these kicks without the double box. You know, I wouldn't tolerate a single box shipment from an eBay seller, but because of the shoe's ideology, I kind of had to let this one slide. But just a little bit, Nike. Not sure how I'd feel about this if it was delivered during a storm or something. But yeah, this is my favorite. I still need it in my size. These are too small. Number 3, Nike Air Zoom Alpha Next Percent. Wait, how come these aren't in the top spot? Oh, right, yeah. Number 2 and number 1 are really, really good. Running shoes proper and not just retro runners like the Air Max 90 will always have a place in my personal top 10s because I'm a sucker for whatever is next, really. And the Air Zoom Alpha Fly Next Percent was just that shoe that defines the evolution of Nike runners. Worn by Eliud Kipchoge during a record-breaking marathon run in 2019, it features 2 Zoom pods on the forefoot. Then it also has Zoom X foam in the heel, which is here. And it's not a cheat code in the sense that it's going to make you run faster because, hey, that's really your job. But what it does do is put you in the best possible position to actually achieve that goal. And number 2, the Nike ISPA Road Warrior. So this was gonna be a little controversial, but no, I didn't put this in the number 2 spot because it shares a name with arguably the greatest tag team of all time. However, I did put this in the number 2 spot because like the Road Warriors Hawk and Animal, you do get a rush rocking these. From the floating heel to the double stacked units to the split toe cage, this really is unlike anything Nike has ever done before, and yet nothing prepares you for the outsole that looks like an unfinished Lego set. It's like a what the Nike shoe, but instead of applying the what the concept to an already existing silhouette, they just went ahead and made something entirely new. And not for nothing, a certain somebody with history at Nike posted this tweet. And number 1, Ben & Jerry's Nike SB Dunk Pro Low Quick Strike Chunky Dunky. Once upon a time, sneaker collaborations were a novelty instead of the norm. In that not too distant past, it felt like every time Nike reached out to a third party to work on an iconic silhouette, you knew that the partnership was something that was forged through a deep-rooted respect from both sides. Their values were the same, and the push to create something neither could achieve alone was what drove them to become classics on your feet. It's a feeling that I honestly don't get all that often anymore. Not with collabs dropping weekly from the most micro of micro influencers all the way to fast food conglomerates and video game console makers. But, I got that feeling when I saw the Chunky Dunkies. It's as if these colossal brands, one that is literally on the short list of most recognizable names and the other a progressive ice cream maker that actually talks the talk, have been circling each other for years and waiting for the right moment to come together. And the result is a sneaker that catches all the feelings, whether it's a sneakerhead who had to take an L on these on release day to the ice cream fan who wonders if they'll ever team up with Crocs next so it won't be so difficult or expensive to buy next time. By the way, if anybody at Ben & Jerry's happens to be watching, I just like to say congratulations, but also, can you retro the wavy gravy again? Just putting that out there. Okay, so that's my top 10 list for Nike. Let me know down in the comments below what your top 10 are for Nike, or if I have it right, if I have it wrong. This is a dialogue. Let's talk about it. As always, guys, I appreciate you. Make sure you like, favorite, and subscribe. I'm Jacques Slade, and I'll see you soon. Peace.